Although the US dollar is overbought, it continues to gain in value against all the currencies. Why is the US currency so attractive to investors? The fact is that demand for the greenback remains high, while US authorities are searching for ways to solve the debt ceiling issue. Investors are actively buying this safe haven currency amid the risk of a default. And the attractiveness of the asset was also boosted by hawkish comments provided by Fed officials. They expressed their intention to go on raising the key rate as inflation remains very high. In our video review on our InstaForex TV channel, we will find out what market sentiment will prevail early next week and what events will affect demand in the currency market. The beginning of the next week is expected to be calm. Traders will start getting important information only from a Tuesday. On a Monday, speculators will price in the results of the G7 meetings. There is a risk that some countries will introduce another ban on Russian energy. This, in turn, may bump up oil prices and inflation. Traders may consider this to be a sign to buy safer assets, primarily the US dollar. On Tuesday, experts at Market Economics will publish a bulk of information, which will contain preliminary estimates of the business activity in the world's largest economies. The overall dynamic is likely to remain the same. Thus, in Europe, business activity may decline in the manufacturing sector and slightly increase in the services sector. Meanwhile, in the United States, the manufacturing PMI continues to rise. A slowdown in inflation has a positive effect on the economy and business activity. In other words, the manufacturing sector is expanding at almost the same pace as the services sector. In the previous months, employment increased, thus pointing to a positive dynamic. Thus, one more strong report is likely to boost US assets. On Wednesday, all eyes will be turned to the data from the United Kingdom. The UK will disclose its inflation figures, and the country's economy is under considerable pressure from the double-digit inflation. According to the forecast, in April, the consumer price growth may slacken to 8.2%, which is still a very high level. It's obvious that the Bank of England will continue raising the benchmark rate. Against the backdrop, the pound sterling is likely to get support. Also, on Wednesday, traders will learn about the business climate in Germany, the main Eurozone economy. And the figures are pointed to a gradual recovery. Thus, in April, the indicator reached the highest level since February 2022. However, analysts suppose that the impulse is not very strong for such a large economy. Nevertheless, if the indicator remains at high levels, demand for the euro may rise. At the end of the trading day, the FOMC will disclose its meeting minutes. Traders will hardly be surprised. The fact is that every FOMC member has already commented on the current situation and expressed a view on a further monetary policy tightening. Most comments were hawkish, which reflects on intention to raise the key rate higher. That's why the protocol may contain information about further tightening, which may help the US dollar to resume rising. How we're going to be in the short term in financial markets, we will definitely tell you in our next news releases. Subscribe to our channel and follow news with us. See you soon.